I'm going to begin by saying if you get this right, this is going to feel so good. What we're trying to achieve here is closing the front ribs, being able to improve your ability to get into a more stacked rib cage and pelvis position. What you often find with flared ribs, externally rotated ribs, is that it can often lead to the lower back being more compressed. It also affects the relationship between diaphragm, pelvic floor, the connection. It affects how well you can manage pressure, your core stability, force transfer, strength. So there's quite a few things that are impacted by this. What we're going to work on is closing the front ribs, so going from externally rotated flared to internal rotation, being able to close the front ribs. And what might help is when I'm going to be lying down, I'm going to have my hands on my ribs. When I breathe out, I'm going to think about bringing my hands closer together, not because I'm actually bringing my hands close together, but because my rib cage and that infrasternal angle is closing, coming in. We're bringing it all together. So you can begin by lying on your back, hands on the bottom of the ribs. Big breath in through the nose, and then exhale. And as you exhale, like I mentioned before, that's when you want to get the ribs coming down. Think about that infrasternal angle closing. And again, the hands are pretty much coming together because the rib cage is sort of, I guess, collapsing, wrapping around you. Think about it that way. We're going to work on 3 to 5 breaths. If 3 is too hard, that's fine. Just start with 1 or 2. If 5 is easy, you can do more. But basically, once you exhale and you get the ribs in that down position, you want to try and keep it there. You don't want to lose that. When you go in for your next inhale, you don't want to go back to ribs flared, lower back arched. You want to keep the ribs down and then take your next inhale, exhale. And on that exhale, you want to close the front ribs even more. So we're closing that infrasternal angle even more. You should feel that the hands and ribs are coming and wrapping around you even more. And we're going to continue that for another, let's say 1 or 2 breaths if you can. What you start to notice is that my shoulders are rounding, which is fine because it means we're actually getting the back of the rib cage to open up. And what you also might be noticing is that you're actually starting to get more expansion now and opening up the side of the ribs, maybe getting a little bit more to the upper part. I know I can already feel my pelvic floor being able to drop and open, relax a little bit more, which is, again, a really good thing. So again, after each exhale, we're closing the front ribs even more. Don't lose that position as you inhale, so that way we can get the expansion in other areas too.